Your boy Meech, aka the Siage Saint. Hope everyone's doing well. Time for another fragrance video and time for another edition of First Impressions Fridays. I introduced this segment a couple of weeks back. Essentially, I'm going to be taking new samples, new bottles to my collection, and giving you guys my initial thoughts on the fragrances. If you missed the first edition of First Impressions Fridays on Parfums de Marly's Castly, go ahead and check that one out. That's a good one. But today, we are traveling to the land of Argos, a land that I have never been to before. I've heard about Argos fragrances constantly, in my fragrance journey thus far, but never had an experience with an Argos fragrance until now. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to talk about From the House of Argos, one of their new 2025 releases. This is Neptune's Trident. So, of course, we're going to talk about the accords, the notes, and I'm going to give you my first impression thoughts on this fragrance. Now, I have had a little bit of time to spend with this fragrance. I've actually worn it once or twice, so I can actually talk a little bit about the wearing experience as well. But for the most part, this is going to be glorified first impressions. So let's get into it. Let's start with the accords. Neptune's Trident by Argos is described as a citric, fresh, aquatic, green, and spicy fragrance. Your top notes are bergamot, mandarin orange, cardamom, and lavender. Heart notes, green tea, orange blossom, jasmine, and geranium. And the base notes, vetiver, ambergris, iris, labdanum, musk, and sandalwood. So quite a few notes in this fragrance. I can tell you off the bat, this smells fantastic. I am going to spray this, though, on a tester strip off camera just to give you guys kind of initial thoughts live and in living color. All right, so right off the top, you get an immediate citric tea-based blast. That's what I get here. A lot of citrus, almost kind of like unripened citrus, because it almost kind of comes off slightly like tart and green. And then you definitely get that that green tea note prominently here at the top with those citruses. Now, we won't have time to get to the dry down and deep dry down, but I can tell you from my wearing experiences, you do get a little bit of kind of like this soapy floral feel as you get to the dry down. Of course, it also gets musky as well. There is a bit of an aquatic vibe, as the accords would indicate, that you get with this fragrance as well, kind of like this watery feel that you get with the fragrance. Now, I am a huge fan of tea-based fragrances, so I could be a bit partial, but I absolutely love the way this smells. This does not reinvent the wheel. It does remind me a bit of other tea-based fragrances out there, most notably something like Nishane's Oolong Cha. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Biggest difference is this has a lot more of florals in the fragrance. You get a lot of the floral aspects in this fragrance as compared to something like Oolong Cha, but the citric tea aspects will definitely remind you of something like that. So if you're a fan of a fragrance like Oolong Cha, you'll absolutely love something like Neptune's Trident by Argos, because I do. Now, in wearing this fragrance, I was getting somewhere around 7 to 8 hours in my wearing experience, which is pretty good, for a citric, fresh, tea-based, watery fragrance. Man, this is my first experience with Argos, and it is a great experience. This fragrance smells very nice. I like the floral aspects that this fragrance provides. This could very well be a unisex scent, although I will say it has a slightly masculine lean, maybe because of some of the spice in the fragrance, the cardamom, the woody aspects of the fragrance, the vetiver, things of that nature. Slightly leans masculine, but I could definitely see where a woman might enjoy wearing this fragrance because of those florals, because of the citruses, the wateriness, the tea. That definitely could be appealing to some ladies out there. But man, this smells fantastic. I would definitely give Neptune's Trident, on initial first impressions, I would definitely give this an 8.5 out of 10. But again, I am a huge fan of tea-based fragrances, and this one is fantastic. Now, maybe not so fantastic is the price of this fragrance. I think 30 mLs of this fragrance run about $215. And then I think the larger bottle sizes, and I can look at the price here, It looks like 100 mls run for $355. So this is a very expensive fragrance, but it is a very pleasant smelling fragrance. So I don't know if I would get a full bottle of it at this time. We'll see what happens once this hits discounters, because at this time I don't see it on many discount sites. You can buy it off of Argos's website. I think Zigo Perfumery has it, but it looks like they're selling it at full retail as well. So it's a little pricey, but it smells nice. But yeah, man, nice tea-based fragrance. I would go 8.5 out of 10 for Neptune's Trident by Argos. Have you smelled this fragrance before? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I love to hear about them. I think it's great. Let me know if you feel the same. Be sure to check out my social media for more. Please like and subscribe on whatever social media platform you're watching this on. Be sure to stay tuned for another edition of First Impression Fridays coming soon, because I have quite a few in the tuck here coming down the road. Your boy Meech, aka the CI Saint. Until next time, take